How's it going, everybody? Shinigami here to bring you another Star Wars video. And it's only because the news just keeps on coming, like some people would say. Yeah, when it comes to Star Wars as a franchise, it's mainly supposed to be known as a theatrical release, but as of late, it's mostly only been delegated to being released on streaming. Very few episodes. The whole part of Star Wars lately has just been like, it feels like Star Wars. It kind of looks like Star Wars, but they don't understand what Star Wars is. Obviously since George Lucas, went off into retirement, did his own thing, and so you got the people at the helm right now at Disney, Lucasfilm, that are in charge of this: Kathleen Kennedy, Dave Filoni, Jon Favreau, which is kind of more so just a lackey at this point since he's been relegated to just being director, producers. But yeah, they've failed at the TV aspect when it came to making shows that were basically supposed to be like TV, with The Mandalorian season 1 and 2. 1 was alright. 2 kind of had a bunch of dead weight added to it. And then they really jumbled it up with season 3, and then also going into Ahsoka, which we'll get into that, and also bringing up the Boba Fett series that also went on, also hot garbage. And you have the reputation of Star Wars being diminished further and further as time goes on, and as little as 4 years now, or 3 if you want to count, but I would say probably 4 if we're speaking since the Rise of Skywalker. What is it called? The Last Jedi? No. The Rise of Skywalker, I think, is what it's called. I'm trying to remember the fucking name of their last film, but I didn't watch it other than the EFAPS version. If y'all ever watch Mauler, shout out to Mauler. Yeah, I would have to say they handled Star Wars atrociously. Didn't understand the character, and even Mark Hamill at the time was disagreeing with the state of his character even. And even though won't mention what Mark Hamill's done as of late, he was right on the money back then, was saying, hey, I'm not Luke Skywalker, I feel like I'm acting like Jake Skywalker. And so let's move on, taking up your time long enough. This is the big news. Mandalorian and Grogu will lead the ongoing Lucasfilm slate, as well as Ahsoka getting season 2 on the works. This is just shortly after the announcement of Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy being the director for the Rey film, which let's just check in with that. What were they saying again? Star Wars director makes men uncomfortable. Quote is 8 years out of context. So that's what people are trying to point out as of late, right? Jesus Christ. So we have a little bit of evidence here. I'll go over a little bit real quick. So there's some people that called it out: Ted Cruz, Matt Walsh, whatever. That's not the bigger issue at hand. It's the fact that more normies are even realizing it, But she's, in reality, this quote is not even from this decade. It's 8 years old, and then the interview is context of her award-winning films about honoring killings and acid attacks against women. Okay. You say that, right? But let's quickly go off to 1 and 2 right here. First one right here. This was, just want to make sure y'all realize it, 8 months ago. interesting. Let's see what she has to say 8 months ago.
There's 100 people standing in line. No, when you can play the woman card,
You will.
You play the woman card, the damsel in distress. I mean, don't I look like a damsel in distress?
The fact that you say that sometimes that you use that card is immensely interesting for me to hear, because very few women admit to that.
Well, the thing is that you've got to play all sides. If I need to stand up and face a man and look at him in the eyes and scare him off a little bit, I do scare Pakistani men off a little bit. That I do, and I enjoy that power.
You like being intimidated?
I enjoy that power that I can scare him, and he kind of takes a back step and then looks away. And then if I need to be a woman and be the damsel in distress, then I will be the woman and be the damsel in distress, because we live in countries where you can do both. And I like that. I like the fact that somebody else is going to stand in line and let me cut in and say, please.
So she's what was the thing here? Duplicitous. Duplicitous. Well, easy enough that people would be able to, explain it so perfectly. But that's not the only clip we got going on. This other one real quick, just to get y'all's attention as well. This is, what is it? A cinematic journey with Charmaine Obaid-Chinoy. Alright, cool. Let's check in and see this rebuttal or answer, whatever the fuck.
I am a storyteller and an activist, and my body of work over the last 20 years has been guided by my activism, and every single piece of work that I've ever created has a piece of activism in it. It could be very overt or it could be covert, but it is there. And I think that as a storyteller, I'm not sure if all of you know this, but I'm not a trained filmmaker. So I never went to film school. I went to Smith College and did my undergraduate and studied economics and political science like a good Pakistani girl. And then I did my graduate studies, but also in international politics. And so I am an accidental filmmaker, but that's why I'm a storyteller, because at the heart of everything, I like to tell stories. And when I started as a journalist, very young, at the age of 14 in Pakistan, it was guided by my activism of inequality. And I think that speaking to people, finding out what the story is, embedding myself into communities, and really getting people to trust me is the way I have forged my career. So when it was my documentary filmmaking early on, it was all about how do we tell these stories so what is happening never happens again to anyone else? And that is guided by not only the work that I've done in Pakistan, but the work that I've done around the world. And I've worked here in the United States. I did a film a couple of years ago with LeBron James about the NCAA and the inequality that takes place. So the film was then used at Capitol.
Oh my goodness. Alright, I'm gonna stop it there, because this bitch goes on for 50 minutes. And I'm not gonna object anybody else to any longer than that. Some other key notes to take away, though, that we didn't go over real quick. Some little stuff that Star Wars posted. Just more, shots like this. That, Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau will be directing the Mandalorian and Grogu film that was supposed to have been season 4, but got delegated to a film because, well, it's cheaper and they gotta make back some profit after fucking up, all the streaming stuff they've done. Granted, they're still gonna do Ahsoka on streaming, whatever. But yeah, it is a shit show. I don't know if anybody wants to still claim that the whole Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau stuff popping up with, new news isn't a cover story for the fucking Rey film, right? I mean, they literally pushed it forward. They put the Mandalorian and Grogu film ahead of the Rey film. Now, they didn't say the Rey film wasn't going to be made. They just said it's going to be the Mandalorian and Grogu And then we're gonna get the Rey film possibly in 2025, 6. Yeah, that it's gonna be a ways off. But hopefully this was a little bit informative. Whatever. I'm kind of getting losing my fucking speech here, but hopefully it worked enough. Y'all let me know down in the comments below if I missed anything. Are y'all on board with this? Are you guys tired of Star Wars, beating a dead horse? Or more so the corpse is just kind of rotted and they're just fucking with whatever's left? Let me know down in the comments. And other than that, we'll catch you later. Y'all have a good night, good evening, and good morning. Bye.